Answer should be D, number 2. Answer should be B, number 3. Answer is C on this one, number 4. Pick a number from 1 to 20 and drop it off up here. The winning numbers today are 1, 4, 8, 12, and 17. Bring it up here and show me what you have finished. The objective today is to simplify radical terms. Before we do any examples, here are some refresher items. The square root of 25 is 5. What about this one?
8. 11. 7. 9. 12. 17. I don't know. Oh,
20. No, 18, 19.
14.
4.
15.
42.
81. No, 72, my bad. No.
No, it's not white.
Yeah.
71.
This brings us to today's lesson, which is if this number is not a perfect square, chances are you'll be able to simplify it in the following way. Your perfect squares are 1, 4, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, and so on. Whenever you simplify an item such as this under the radical sign, you're never going to use a perfect square that is greater than half of what's under the sign. Half of 63 is 31 and a half. And the items that are over 31 and a half are these. So you can't even possibly use these. You will never use 1. So start with the highest one and go back. Will 25 divide evenly into 63? No, so we can't use that one. Will 16 go into 63? No. There is one perfect square missing, which is what? Will 9 go into 63?
Yes, it will.
Yes, so if 9 divides into 63, you'll have the square root of 9 times the square root of what? 7. Square root of 9 times the square root of 7 equals square root of 63. So now you can simplify this square root of 9 to get 3, and then multiply 9 times 3 together to get 27. Your final answer would be 27 square root of 7. Example 1. You have the square root of 12. Again, the perfect squares we're going to concern ourselves with start with 4, and then go to 9, 16, 25, 36, and on out. You never use a perfect square higher than half of what it is that's under the radical sign. Half of 12 is 6. So all of these are above 6, leaving us with only one option. Will 4 go into 12 evenly? So the square root of 4 times the square root of 3 would give me the square root of 12. So 2 square root of 3 would be your final answer after you reduce this down to 2. Example 2. Square root of 60. Again, the square roots are 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, and on out. Half of 60 is 30. So anything over 30 in this list, we're not even going to look at. So scratch out 36. Will 25 go into 60 evenly?
No.
How about 16? No. What about 9? No. So we're left with 4. How many times does 4 go into 60? 15 times. And the square root of 4 is 2. So 2 square root of 15 is the final answer. On the practice problem, the highest perfect square that goes into 40 is 4. So square root of 4 times square root of 10 equals square root of 40. Simplify this to be 2. So your final answer is square root, or 2 square root of 10. For this problem, the highest perfect square that comes out of 48 is 16. Square root of 16 times square root of 3 is square root of 48. So that simplifies to 4 square root of 3. Example 3. If I have 4 square root of 20, what I'll do is I'll leave the 4 where it's at and then concentrate on the square root of 20. The highest perfect square that comes out of 20 is 4. And square root of 4 times what is square root of 20? 5. So keep the original 4 on the left. The square root of 4 is 2. And then keep the square root of 5. 4 times 2 is 8. So 8 square root of 5 is the answer. Example 4. 5 times the square root of 63. Keep the 5 where it's at, and what is the perfect square?
9.
And times what?
7.
Square root of 9, square root of 7 is square root of 63. So the square root of 9 is 3. Multiply these two numbers together to get 15. 15 square root of 7 is the final answer. Keep the 4 where it's at, and the highest perfect square that comes out of 32 is 16. Square root of 16, square root of 2 would get you back to this. The square root of 16 is 4. Multiply these two together to get 16 square root of 2. Try this one. On the practice, you're going to keep the 10, and it's going to be square root of 9, square root of 3. The square root of 9 is 3. Multiply 10 by 3 to get 30. There's your final answer.